Student, welcome back in this class. I hope you are healthy and safe at your home. This is the class 9 subject social science, and today we are going to discuss chapter number 2, people as resource, and this is the summary lecture, and today we will recapitulate all important topic of this chapter one by one. So student, let's start. And firstly, we will discuss about some important topic. Firstly, we will discuss about human capital, and there are four factors of production, just like land, capital, labor, and human capital. And human capital is the most important factor of production. And after that, we will discuss about economic and non-economic activity. Economic activity means earning money, and non-economic activity means social welfare activity. And after that, we will discuss about three sector: primary, secondary, and tertiary. And after that, we will discuss about importance of education and importance of health, because a educated or healthy person can contribute in the growth of society. And after that, we will discuss about unemployment. Unemployment is a situation when people who are willing to do work but they cannot find any kind of job. And after that, we will discuss about types of unemployment. And after that, we will discuss about employment opportunity in different sector. So student, let's start. And firstly, we will discuss human capital. In every type of production we need four factor of production: land, labor, capital, and human capital. And population, it includes working population they can convert into human capital when we can investment in the field of education, medical facility, and training. So population can convert into human capital, because human capital, they can use their mind, skill, and knowledge, and they can convert raw material into very useful form. So we can say that the population can convert into human capital with the help of education, medical, and after that, virtuous cycle. In our society there are different types of people. Some people are educated and some people are uneducated people. And virtuous cycle created by educated parents, because they invest in more heavily on the education and health of their children, because they realize the importance of education, and they are also more aware of their children needs of nutrition and hygienic. And virtuous cycle is very development cycle for the society, and it can contribute in the growth of society, because educated parents form virtuous cycle because they realize the importance of education and health of their children, and they also conscious about their children nutrition and hygienic and health facility also. So educated parents created virtuous cycle. And next is vicious cycle. Vicious cycle means dangerous cycle, corrupted cycle, because uneducated parents created vicious cycle because they are not aware of their children education and health, and they do not realize importance of education. And this cycle is very dangerous for the society, because this cycle this cycle cannot contribute in the growth of society, because unhealthy person, they cannot contribute in the growth of society, they cannot earn money. So uneducated parents created vicious cycle. Next, economic activities. Economic activity are those activity which are done for earning money, or which are done for income, profit, or to satisfy his and her wants. And it includes such as teaching, doctor, shopkeeping, engineer, business, any type of job includes in economy activity, because economy activity are done for earning money. And economy activity, they contribute in the national income. And economy activity, in this economy activity we can flow of goods and service. And the main purpose of economy activity to earn income, to earn more profit. Next is non-economic activity. Non-economic activity do not increase the contribute to the flow of goods and services, and it cannot contribute in the growth of society, because Non-economy activity are done for only social welfare. So non-economy activity do not add in national income. And non-economy activity are done only for social welfare, for social service, just like donation, free education, free medical checkup. So we can say that non-economy activity are not included in national income. And next topic is sector of Indian economy. Indian economy in our country, there are three sectors. Many people are engaging in three sector: primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. And the first sector is primary activities, means primary sector, and it include all those connected with extraction and production of natural resources. And primary sector, it is also called agriculture sector, because in this sector all those activity connected with extraction and production of natural resources without the interfere of human being. And in our country, 60% people of our country dependent on agriculture. So in this sector agriculture, forestry, fishing, mining, horticulture, viticulture also includes. And 60% people dependent on agriculture activity and primary sector. And next is secondary sector. Secondary sector, it is also called industrial sector, manufacturing sector, and construction sector, because in this sector raw material convert into finished goods. Finished goods means finished goods are those directly used by customer. And in this sector, raw material convert into finished goods with the help of machinery and labors. Example, any type of construction such as baking of bread and weaving of cloth. It is called secondary sector. And next, tertiary sector. Tertiary sector means service sector. And tertiary sector involve the provision of services to the other business. In tertiary sector, we cannot produce any goods. It's only provides services to the other sector, just a primary sector and secondary. And tertiary sector includes trade, transport, communication, banking, education, health, and insurance. So we can say that in economy activity there are three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. Next is types of economic activity. Economic activity have two types: market activity and non-market activities. And market activity means when some production of goods and services are done for selling in the market, and the main purpose to earn more profit. And it consider production of goods and service, and it also includes government service for income. Means all those activities which are done for earning money, which are done for selling in the market to earn more profit, all this activity includes in market activity. And next is non-market activity. Non-market activity means when some production and services are produced for only self-consumption, only sell, not selling in the market. Example, if a farmer produce grains to satisfy his and her family needs, so it is called non-market activity, because the main purpose of non-market activity is to satisfy his family needs. So there are two types of economic activity. It is works performed by men and women. In our country, there is a difference between men and women work, because due to historical and cultural reason, the difference between most of the women, they look after their household work and men work in the field. And in our society, men are paid for their work, and men work add in the national income, but women's works are not recognized, because most of the women are unskilled and there is no job security. Women get low income and absence of basic facility, just like maternity leave, child care facility, and job security. So in our society there is a difference between men and women activity, and women working is not added in national value, and women household work are not recognized by the society. So we can say that there is a difference between men and women activity in our country. And next is education. And you know, student, the quality of population totally dependent on education, because education, it is the process of learning. With the help of education, we can enhance our learning capacity, and education open new horizon, because after completing our education we can get a new opportunity and we can success in our life, or it provides new aspiration and develops value of life, because the educated person create their own interest and they enhance their standard of living. So with the help of education, it develops values of life, it enhance their standard of living. And educated people, they contribute in the growth of society, because they can, with the help of education, they must follow the rules and regulation of the society, and they create good society. So educated people contribute in the growth of. And the next is, it enhances the national income, because the educated people can earn more income, and it also enhances the national income. And next, it enhances cultural richness, because India is a diverse country and many people belong to different culture and different religion, different castes. But the educated people, they respect all culture and other religion, so it enhances cultural richness. And next, increase the efficiency of governance. Educated person, they can contribute in the political activity, they can check the work of the government, and they must follow the rule and regulation of the democratic country. So education helps the efficiency of governance, we can check the work of the government at any time, and we, with the help of education, we must follow the rule and regulation of the country, and we will become good citizen. So we can say that the quality of population dependent on education. And next, Shiksha Abhiyan, and the government has taken some step to improve the condition of education in our country. So they introduced in our country Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and the slogan of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, Sab Badhe, and it was started in 2001, and it was started by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2001. And the main purpose of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, providing elementary, means providing basic education to all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years by 2010, and is a time bound initiative of the, and it this program started by central government with the help of state government or local government. And the main purpose of Shiksha Abhiyan, to provide education to all poor children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. And next is, bridge courses and back to school camps have been initiated to increase the enrollment in elementary education, means to provide basic education. So the government has provided many provision, many bridge courses, such like computer course, mechanical course, any art and craft course, and many new scheme, back to school, just evening classes, non-formal education, to improve the condition. And they want to, many students, they come to school and they complete their education. And so the main purpose of such Shiksha Abhiyan, to provide elementary education to all poor children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. And next scheme also, midday meal scheme, to provide nutrition food. Government has introduced midday meal scheme, and it is a school meal program of the government of India. In this scheme, government provided nutrition food during the school time. And the main purpose of midday meal scheme has been implemented to increase attendance, means many students come to the school and they get education. And retention children, students complete their education and improve their nutrition status. And the midday meal scheme, it was launched in our country in 1995, and first time it was launched in our country in Tamil Nadu state. So the main purpose of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and midday meal scheme, to improve the nutrition level and to improve the enrollment in the school. So the government, has taken some step to improve the condition of education in our country. And next is health. The quality of population totally dependent on education or health, because health is wealth, and the health means is not means only the survival. It is the ability to fight illness, and it includes social health, mental health, and economic health, and physical health. And with the help of health, the health of a person help him to realize his and her potential. Means with the help of health, a person can realize his ability, his potential, and the ability. And a good health increase the efficiency of worker, because a healthy person, they can do work more better, and they can earn more income. And with the help of good health, it improves the quality of life, because a healthy person can do anything and can earn more income, and they enhance their quality of life. So a healthy person is important for a development of a country. So the quality of population totally dependent on education and health, and it is the duty of the government to enhance the health condition and education condition in our country. And the next topic is unemployment. Student, due to huge population, many people they are engaged in economy activity such as primary sector, secondary, and tertiary sector. But some person they are not getting any kind of job. So this situation it is called unemployment. Unemployment means when people who are willing to work at the available wages but cannot find job. Means it is a situation when people they want to do any work at the available salary but cannot find job. So this situation it is called unemployment, and it includes only working population. Means it is the includes only the age of 15 to 59 years. So all those person includes in 15 to 59, it includes in the unemployment situation. And next is nature of unemployment. Nature of unemployment means there are two types of unemployment: rural areas and urban areas. And in rural areas there are two types of unemployment are found: seasonal and disguised. Seasonal and disguised. And urban areas it is called educated unemployment. So firstly we will discuss about rural area. The most of the important unemployment are found seasonal unemployment, because in rural area most of the people they depend on agriculture activity, and some months they are very busy in sowing, harvesting, weeding, but some month they are not to do any work. So seasonal unemployment it happen when people are not able to find job during some month of the year, and it is mostly found in agro-based industry. It is mostly found in the agro-based industry. And seasonal unemployment found in rural as well as urban areas, because in urban areas such as small scale industry, any basket industry, any type of small scale industry, they dependent on agriculture. So these activities called these unemployment is called seasonal unemployment, when some month of the people they are not getting any kind of job, so it is called seasonal unemployment. Next is disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment means it is a type of unemployment under which people appears to be employed but actually they are not employed. Means it is a situation in which more workers are working in an activity than required. Especially in rural area, people are engaging in agriculture activity, and all family members they are engaging in agriculture activity. They appear to be employed, but actually they are not employed. In agriculture activity, we need 5 members, but all members just like 8 members engaging in agriculture activity. If we remove 3 members from the production, so there are not effect in a production activity. So we can say that disguised unemployment are mostly found in agriculture sector, and it is mainly found in rural areas. Next is educated unemployment. Educated unemployment it is mostly found in urban area, because in our country in urban area, people are more educated, and people are 16.1% are more educated than rural areas. And in rural area, many people, many youth generation, they have degree of 10th metric degree, senior secondary degree, graduation degree, and post graduate such as MA, PhD, net qualified degree, but they are not able to find a job. So we can say that educated unemployment is found in urban area. And for the growth of a country, we need technical and skill based educated unemployment, but in our country there is a lack of educated unemployment person, so they cannot find a job. So we can say that in urban area it mostly found in educated unemployment. So next topic is problems of unemployment. Due to unemployment, there is a lot of problem because it leads to wastage of manpower resources, because the ability of the and upskill of a person, they can convert into unability and unskill, and so it leads to wastage of manpower resources, and people who are an assets for the economy turn into liability, because those people, they are assets for the country and due to unemployment they can convert into liability, because they cannot contribute in the growth of society, they cannot contribute in the national income, so they can convert into liability. And due to unemployment, there is a feeling of hopelessness, and there is a feeling of disappear in the youth, because due to unemployment they cannot earn money, they cannot support their family, so this is the feeling of depression, this is a feeling of hopelessness. And next is people do not have enough money to support their family, and they cannot earn money, they cannot serve, they cannot support their family, they cannot provide education to their children. So this is a social waste, and they do not they cannot contribute in the growth of society. So we can say that it tends on to increase the economic overload, because due to unemployment it's increase the burden of working population, because due to unemployment they cannot earn money, they cannot get any job. So we can say that the unemployment is a very peculiar problem for the Indian economy. Next topic is employment scenario in three sectors. In economy activity, there are three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. And primary sector, agriculture sector is the most labor absorbing sector, because most of the labor they are doing agriculture activity, and about 60% of the population is already working in the primary sector, so there is a no further scope for employment in agriculture sector. But in recent year there has been decline in the dependence of population on agriculture, and but in agriculture sector there is a problem of disguise unemployment, because in rural areas most of the family member they are engaged in agriculture sector, and most of the worker they are engaged in agriculture sector, so they appear like employment, but actually they are not doing any work. So some people has moved to secondary or tertiary sector for employment. And secondary sector, this sector has the maximum capacity to absorb surplus worker of the primary sector, such as small scale industry, any type of small scale industry such as cottage industry, pickle industry, basket and industries. And it is the duty of the government to provide loan and to open small scale business in rural area and provide employment. Next sector is tertiary sector. Tertiary sector means service sector, and in this sector it provides services, and various new services are now appearing like biotechnology, information technology, and media. Means new services, just like in biotechnology, new technologies as information, media, and this sector also provide new job opportunity for unemployment person. So it is the duty of the central government and state government to provide new opportunity for unemployment person, and it is a duty of the government to provide better medical facility or better education facility, because a healthy or educated person can contribute in the growth of society. So we can say that human is the most important factor of production. Today your homework solutions. Question number first. What is the difference between disguised unemployment and seasonal unemployment? Answer. Disguised unemployment. First, it is a type of unemployment under which people appear to be employed but actually they are not employed. Second, it is found in agriculture sector, and third, it is mainly found in rural areas. And second, seasonal unemployment. It is a situation or type of unemployment under which workers are employed only for particular seasons. It is mostly found in agro-based industries, and it is found both in rural area as well as urban areas. Next question is question number second. Unemployment has a detrimental impact on the overall growth of an economy. And justify the statement. An answer is it leads to wastage of manpower resources. And second, people who are an assets for the economy turn into liabilities. And third, there is a feeling of hopelessness. And fourth, people do not have enough money to support their family. And fifth, it tends to increase the economic overload. So there is a negative impact of unemployment overall growth of an economy. And question third, which is the most labor absorbing sector of the Indian economy? And what trend has been recently noticed in terms of dependence of population on this sector? And what is the reason for that? An answer is agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector of the Indian economy, but in recent year there has been a decline in dependence of population on agriculture, because this decline is mainly due to disguised unemployment, and surplus labor in agriculture has moved to either the secondary sector or tertiary sector. And question number 4, what is the role of health in human capital formation? And answer is the health of a person helps him to realize his and her potential and the ability to fight illness. And second, good health increases the efficiency of a worker. And third, it improves the quality of life. And good health increases the learning capacity of a worker. So, and a healthy worker is an asset for the firm as well as for the country. So, healthy person is very important for a development of a country. And so student, today your homework, revise chapter number 2 of economics, topic people as resource, and do exercise question and in-text question. Firstly, you have to revise complete chapter, and after that find out exercise question and in-text question and keep learning. Thank you.